Alright. We got some unfinished business. Yeah, sorry for the makeshift button, it's a cookie jar lid, but you know what? It gets the job done. So a few weeks ago I gave you guys a request. I wanted you guys to come up with some button scenarios for me. Some of the buttons were easy to push, others were not easy to push. And so here's my chance to put those guys on full blast for their evil creative writing, I'll say. First one comes from Marcus Cole. He was nice enough to give me 2 of them, because making me do one hard decision wasn't bad enough. You can move anywhere in the world as many times as you want, but your new place will always end up infested with Joro spiders. No. There is no dream house that is worth that. Ever. I had just escaped them. I do not want them back. You stay where you are, and eventually you marry a human-sized Joro spider who adheres to all the lore. No, I remember telling you this. I do not feel like being spider food, and nothing that you can give me will convince me that that is a good idea, even if she is hot. Sorry, Marcus. Next one comes from the Judger. Here's one. You get to enter any anime world you want, but Goku gets to chase you and he will kill you no matter what. He is not holding back. But you can only choose one protector from the anime you're going to. Okay, that's a problem for 2 reasons. 1, it's Goku. He can do instant transmission, so it will be literally just... and that's it. The other problem is that I want to enter Clannad. There is nobody in Clannad that can beat Goku in a fight. Not Tomoya, not Tamayo, not Kyon Fujibayashi, not Yohei, especially not Yohei. I am dead if I go to the Clannad world and Goku's chasing me. That's not a button that I'm going to push. Charles Wolf 8896 says, would you press the button? You get a sexy fox waifu, but there's a 50% chance she's a mythically accurate Tamayo no Mae. I had to do a little bit of research for this one. So, from what I can gather, she's a fox girl. Yes, I know, I have yet to do fox girl, shut up. But the bad thing about her is that she is manipulative. She fooled around with a couple of Chinese and Japanese emperors and convinced them to do some pretty nasty stuff. So, for example, slaughtering their people or burning down villages. And due to her divine beauty, she just about got away with it all. That is until a monk came by and exorcised her. I know I'm making a long story short here, because I'm sure that there was a lot more meat to that story, but in general, he just exorcises her. And in 2022, I found this funny. Her rock, or her stone, that's dedicated to her, was split in half. And some people speculate, it's obvious that nature, erosion, like that probably split the rock in half, right? But people speculate that when that happened, evil was unleashed onto the world, or her spirit was set free. Does anybody know what happened in 2022? But anyway, back to the scenario. This says there's a 50% chance of me getting either a normal fox girl, who's, I'm going to assume that she's nicer than the Tamama no Mae, or there is a 50% chance that I do end up with the super manipulative, attractive fox woman. But here's the thing. I am not a king or an emperor, and I don't think I have very much sway over the hearts of men. So even if I was asked to do some pretty horrible stuff, it's not like I can command legions to do that for me or do it on a scale as those people. Hell, I tell you not to date a monster girl, a lot of you already do it anyway, so it's not like I have much power here. I am also not in the right state of mind. So, if she tries to attack me with common sense, it's probably not going to work. So, best case scenario, she gets stuck with me. I'm pushing that button. How you doing? Renamon5658 says, you become a powerful wizard, but have to go on an adventure with Twilight Sparkle and the My Little Pony manga. Bringing the bronies back with this one. So let me get this straight. I go on an adventure with My Little Pony. I get free horseback rides and public transit. And by the end of it, I become a super powerful wizard. Renamon, that wasn't a hard choice at all, man. Backpack Musician says you get to have your favorite waifu and or husbando with you and they love you and stuff, but there are people actively trying to kill them and you have to protect them. There's very little I won't do. By the way, Backpack, I was curious to see whether or not you actually did music because of your name, and looks like you do. No, I will not roast you on your music. The only thing that I will say is you do good. Now do something where I can see you playing the guitar. I want to see your face and the guitar, because otherwise I imagine that a computer's doing it, and I know you're a lot better than that, dude. Dark Super Saiyan gifted me 5 of these. Let's see what you got. You gain the strength, power, knowledge, intelligence, and wisdom of your favorite anime MC, but you have to go through everything they went through.
Your very existence is a mistake!
The only ones who should kill are those prepared to be killed.
No. You get transported to your favorite action anime, but you have the survival chance of a background side character. That depends on the show. I don't really have a favorite action. Yeah, the one I saw most recently, Kaiju number 8. That one's pretty good, and survival is pretty high for background characters, so I guess that'd be pretty cool. Alright, I'll give you that one. I'll push that one. You get to marry and or date a woman of your choice, but it has to be one of the monster girls you already made a video on. Harpy. You get to bring any item from any show to ever exist, literally anything you want, with the mental capacity and ability to control it perfectly at will. You could be as rich or as powerful beyond your wildest dreams, but you have to be trapped in a locked room with the My Hero Academia community for 24 hours. Alright, the My Hero Academia community is toxic, yes, but it's not prevent me from getting my hands on the Steins Gate D-mail machine toxic, or like preventing me from getting my hands on the Death Note toxic, so alright. You get the girlfriend, wife of your dream, but a year into the marriage you find out she has a crippling strong addiction to yaoi and always consumes it at the most inappropriate time. There is no reversing or nullifying this at all. Dude, if she's the wife of my dreams, I don't care if she's into yaoi or anything, it's fine. XCon number 1 says you get to live in any fantasy world of your choosing, but you have to serve a life sentence, in this case 20 years, there in the first prison system with all the potential risks. Problem is I don't really consume a lot of fantasy. Okay. My favorite one, let's do Frieren. That's an easy one. Being in prison in the Frieren world probably wouldn't be so bad. I mean, you're trapped inside of a dungeon, sure, but it could be a lot worse. Yeah, no, I'll press that one. From Kill Bill 196, you'll be on a reality dating machine TV show with all of your waifu and other husbandos, but whoever you didn't pick get killed in the most cruel way possible, and you have to watch them all after you pick your choice.
911, what's your emergency?
Yeah, I got this channel where people can leave me comments. No! No! Hey, buddy, you see this? You see this thing? I'm not pushing it. I like the idea of putting them on a game show, but I'm not watching my secondary waifus be bludgeoned to death. Salu, you got something sweeter than that? The world burns slowly, and you are a sole survivor, unaging and immortal over years of Earth slowly reforming into the anime world of your dreams. Would you push the button? Oh, and okay, I remember yours. Yours was one that I wanted to put off until I actually came up with a good answer. Because I figured that there was some kind of loophole that I could probably get around that. Like, if I went to the Bakano world and I found the immortality elixir and there were other people to do it with me. Because I'm a part of the group that thinks immortality is cool, only if you have somebody to spend it with. But if you're all by yourself, that's awful. And I don't really see any way of rationalizing that. Unless you can go to a world where there's other immortal beings that you can befriend and be a part of, but in this case, probably not. So, sorry Saluv, I'm not pushing that button. From Kaiser Yuki. Once a month, or once per month, you can bring any anime character you want into the ideal world to the location you choose. Every time you do this, a random anime villain arrives in the real world at a random location, and you won't know who they are unless they make themselves known. Both anime characters have full access to their powers, if they have any. That one's pretty good. But one thing you should know about me, Kaiser Yuki, is that I have terrible gacha luck. So if I do end up bringing somebody with me, just one person, I'm gonna end up with maybe Frieza, or Pain. Just somebody who could actually be a world-ending threat. So that's probably not the best button for me to push. I could try to work my way around it and say maybe use this to summon Gojo on my first go and have him be the world's bodyguard. But then what if I get Sukuna? Sukuna is full power and he kicks his ass. Or cuts it off, I guess. Alright, I guess the odds would be astronomical. But even then, I can't get Gojo to do what I say. It's not like when he gets summoned to the world, I could just say, hey, be my bodyguard, and then he'd do it. Same goes for if I get my waifu here. Like, if I bring Miku to this corporeal realm, it's not a guarantee that she agrees to go out with me. Then, I'm both rejected, and I've unleashed evil onto the world, like in some remote location that doesn't even know what happened. Because I let my wiener do the walking. Goodbye, Button. We're probably not gonna need you if this keeps happening. Frud the Gamer 1012 says, would you press the button if you could eat all the food from Food Wars daily with the best cooks? But you'll never be allowed to eat your favorite dish, nor favorite ingredients added in. I remember yours as well, Frud, because my favorite dish is chicken curry, and a world without chicken curry is a world without life. I guess if chicken curry is the dish that I can't have ever again, it wouldn't stop them from making beef or duck or just other curry that maybe tastes like chicken but isn't. That's a loophole that I could use to get around it. And every other dish that I have would be made by a Food Wars chef, and damn it, it's been quite a while since I've had something so good where the clothing flew off my body. That might be a decision I'll go for. Come back here, Button. It's good to have you back. Zion Fultz says, you get the ability to go in and out of your anime world at will, but your character is a side character that will die some point, not of old age, and you don't know when. Do you push the button? Goodbye, Button. No, I'm not gonna do that. The only thing worse than coming into an anime world of your choice, not as the main character, but as a side character, the only thing worse than that is being told you're going to die, but you don't know when. Cats Up 3. Would you push the button, you get isekai'd, but you're just a side character with no OP powers? In some cases, being a side character isn't so bad. It just depends on the world that you go to. But if I become a side character with no OP powers, it's just not as interesting. People aren't going to look at me. It won't be as fun. I mean, I guess that doesn't mean a side character can't have an interesting life. My thoughts go to Gate, where in the ending, I guess it's not a spoiler, a lot of the characters end up hooking up off screen with their fantasy counterparts. So they do lead some fairly interesting lives, to say the least. But maybe 8 times out of 10, or I guess 4 times out of 5, it could end up going very poorly. And as I said before, I don't have very good gacha luck, so I don't trust it. Joe says, push the button. Gain the ability to rewrite any one episode of an anime you didn't like to be remade in your own improvised version. But the series is guaranteed to be cancelled next season. Or don't push the button and the series continues just in the direction that it did. Yes. Yes, I do want to push this. Where's my button? First off, quick loophole. If it's the end of the season already, if the end of the season is supposed to be the finale of the show already, then that's okay. They don't have to make anything more. But also, Japanese anime studios are too greedy to let a good series die. I can use this button to actually bring an end to Attack on Titan so they don't make sequels or just any more movies. Or I can use this to finally end Naruto or finally end Bleach or just any good show once and for all without it getting corrupt. But more than that, I have been wanting to remake an episode from Mob Psycho Season 3 for a while now. I do not like the way that Mob Psycho Season 3 ended, and I'll try to get past it without spoilers as best as I can, but there is a character in Mob Psycho Season 3 that had a really good send-off, or they had a good way to write them out of the show. And for the ending episode, as a shock, I guess, they bring them back. I will always remember a video made by Mother's Basement that talked about why SEO went bad, and the very specific reason that he brought up was because of Yui. Yui was a character that they wrote off of the show, they gave him a send-off, and then they brought her back a couple of episodes later. I hate that a lot. The reason I hate that is because if the send-off is done really well, then it takes away the emotional moment. And it's true. When I go back to that emotional moment where that send-off happens in Mob Psycho Season 3, it's not as good. It's not as impactful. Not only because I've seen it before, but because I now know that that character is coming back. They're not gone. It's just... It's like Mother's Basement said. You might as well just say they got on a bus for a few weeks for all the difference that it makes. So I would very much like to rewrite that. Enowako says you get to be in a relationship with your favorite waifu till the day you die, but for 1 year she will NTR you with some old fat guy. You monster! Say you're sorry. Say you're sorry right now. Say you're sorry. I don't want that, but... I guess I'm in the relationship. It's just a year. But it's still a year! I don't want to have to do... Can it be, like, later in life after we've lived our lives, and it's like maybe when she's 70 years old, that's when the old man... The old fat man comes in to do the deed, and to do his due service, I guess. And then when she's 71, that's when we can go back to it? Is there a way to, like, cheat the fat old man? Edo, you're terrible. I'm not hitting that. Tonklore Master says you can bring one character from any fictional story to the real world as a normal human being to live with, so they would lose all of their abilities, superhuman powers if they had any. But they take half your lifespan. So that is rough. I get to bring any fictional character I want to this world. But say I was going to live to... I planned on living till at least 80. So if you have that, I'm going to live to 40. That is not good. I have a lot of things that I want to accomplish, and that is going to take more than 40 years to make that happen. Plus, bringing them to the real world does not necessarily mean they will like me. And if that is the case, there'd be no point. So, sorry button. Would you push the button to watch an underrated sci-fi anime, but it's not Mal? What? No, this isn't a poorly disguised attempt telling you about Pantheon, which is only on AMC for some reason. Also, yes, it's technically not an anime. Underrated note. New anime coming out after 4 years of gray space. Mecha Ude. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Why am I telling you this? I don't know. I'll tell you why. Because you have a short hope that I'm going to read it and then put you on full blast, and that's exactly what I just did, so you're welcome, Junior. But also, I looked into Pantheon. It looks good, and there's 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, so there's really no reason for me to watch it, or really no reason for me not to watch it. That said, I don't know what a subscription to AMC would cost. And I don't know if it'd be worth the while, even if it is 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. Divided Zero gifted me with 8 buttons. Oh my god, dude. 8 buttons? You replace the protagonist of your dream-chosen anime, you'll reach a very bad ending after 2/3 of the story. No. Your favorite manga, visual novel, Japanese game gets a good faithful anime adaptation. It never gets translated into English. If you know Japanese or manage to learn it, the anime adaptation immediately becomes lost media, with only few pics and short clips to remain to tease you of its existence. You evil bastard. And there will never be any more future content involving that IP. I sincerely hope that your iPhone chargers do not work. You're an evil man. I am not hitting this. Anime and its communities become niche again, with lots of new fun ideas and creativity and style of your favorite time period. You cannot be a part of any anime community and are constantly gated off when you are trying to interact with any anime community. Well, that's just no fun if I can't interact with anybody. Look, I said bully the anime fans. When I said that, I didn't mean me. But I still like talking to my friends about this sort of thing. Does that mean they shun me as well? I guess it means that I just can't talk to any large group of anime... This is my hobby. I'm doing it right now, so I can't interact with you guys if that's the case. Or, worse yet, you say that I'm terrible and I make bad videos, and that's just sad. I don't like that. Your waifu becomes real and she loves everyone except you, and your waifu die... Wait, what? Your waifu becomes real, and she loves everyone except you, and your waifu dies, and your waifu is located in a random part of the world. You and your waifu will not be given hints on each other's locations, and your waifu loses her powers and becomes normal. What kind of sick fuck? Do I need to put this down? Do I need to, like, just leave this over here? Because I have no reason to touch it. Dude! I can't interact with her. She doesn't like me. She's located in a random part of the world where I don't have a hint to find her. And she likes everyone else but me. Okay. There is a devil's advocate to this. For other Miku Nakano fans in the world, I can hit that button and she will fall in love with you. With me as your sacrifice. Why would I do that? I'll tell you why. Because we're all one and the same. Live the life I couldn't, brothers. Once a day when you return back from work, you'll spot fresh homemade cooking and a handwritten note. Oh no, I remember this one. Translated in your language. On your kitchen counter from your waifu. The food and note was magically transported from her world to yours. You must eat all of the food and you cannot eat anything else for the rest of that day or you'll instantly die with no warning. That already sucks, but you must also leave out your homemade cooking on your kitchen counter and a handwritten note by the end of the day or you'll die. Your cooking and note will magically be transported into her world for her to eat. If your waifu doesn't like your cooking or skips out on it, she'll die. So it's not only me that's in danger, but her that's in danger. Great, it's good to know that across world lines we share the pain in this household. You cannot request her to cook you something or tell her that her cooking was bad. You cannot cook the same thing for her for the next following 3 days. Divided, do you just, like, write this stuff for a living? Because that's a lot of detail. But also, who in their right mind would ever push that? Look, I want a homemade meal from a girl as much as the next guy. But not if it's going to put her life at risk. That is a terrible idea for both her and me. I'd rather she just live her own life. I'm confident that I can cook her some fairly good meals, but if she forgets, she's done. And I guess that means that I'm no longer obligated to follow that deal, which means that I'm set free. But a world where she is removed from this plane of existence, or from her plane of existence, I guess, is terrible. It's not worth a button. It is not! You will become an ecchi harem protagonist with all of your waifus being involved, and they all love you. They all despise each other, though. They'll refuse to do anything naughty with you if there is another girl in the room. Every guy will hate your guts. You lose all of your male friends. Your future kids hate you. And your Jonathan gets reduced by 2 centimeters for every waifu in your harem. If there is a single soul out there that would hit that button, I recommend getting checked. That is a very awful position to be in. It's either that, or you have meat to spare. Don't spare it for this, where they're constantly fighting each other and you have no friends. That is equally terrible. It sounds like a fun lifestyle, but I don't recommend it. Brother, Divided, you gave me 8 buttons. 8 of these. And the only one that I pushed was because I was feeling charitable. These are all very bad situations. You are awful. Not really. As a person, I'm sure you're a really good guy. But those situations were evil. Why? But those were also probably my favorite ones. So, congratulations. Thanks for that. And that's just about does all the buttons. Thank you guys for your selections, and also thank you for helping me hit 10,000 subscribers. That's not a real number. It doesn't feel like it's... Oh god, it doesn't feel like it exists. Thank you for the continued support and bearing with me with the move, because now I'm in my own location, and hopefully things can get better from here as far as technology and what I could use this for. No thank you for having Slipmouth Woman surpass the Jirogamo and Lamia. How could you do this? Look, I get it, we all have preferences, but damn it, that's wrong. How dare you? The Monster Musume ones were the ones on top, and it got usurped. It's not a bad choice. But wow, that was just really unexpected. I have another button request, because this is kind of fun and I like doing it. The next theme that I want stuff that's going to make me squeamish. I want stuff that's going to make me reel back in disgust, like, get to suck a fart out of your waifu's butt. I want stuff that's going to disgust me. I want stuff that's going to look as bad as the last 8 from Divided here. That's the kind of thing that I want you to go for. And, if I get enough of them, I'll do another video on it. Because, like I said, this is pretty fun, and I hope that I can continue with a series like this as I continue to keep making videos in this new location of mine. But, anyway, that's all I got for you. Sayonara, suckers.